Oops.
Maybe.
See if I can bend over and pick this up. Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. It's Tulip Tuesday. Can't we call it Tulip Tuesday?
We can.
It's Tulip Tuesday at Memory Bound, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly here at Memory Bound. We're right in the middle of Iowa, and today we've got our Copic coloring whiz, Penny. Penny's here. So we got Penny, and we do have a virtual class going on that we'll have to tell people about. Remind me.
Okay.
With Copic coloring. So if it's something you're interested in, you want to learn more, we do have a couple more class kits if you want to join us. But today is Tuesday, and it's a beautiful day here in Iowa, and we are going to have a beautiful card making day with these tulip. I'm not sure what these are even called, Penny. Is it just called Tulip Bundle? We're going to look up the name here. Tulip Bouquet. All together now. We've got a lot of people joining us. It's sunny here today, and we are loving the tulips. And the thing about the tulips is they're going to be back tomorrow, too. I'm going to do some watercoloring.
Yeah.
So today we're Copic coloring tulips, and tomorrow we're going to watercolor tulips. But we want to show you what has come in. In the meantime, we're going to show you some new product, and then we're going to hop over and do our tulip coloring. Penny, I always say hop over, and I don't know why. It's not Easter, but if anybody can hop over, it will be Penny. And Susie's on, and she said she's enjoying your class.
Oh, good.
So if you are interested in Copic coloring, we do have a class right now, a virtual class, and we've had one session, but it's on a Facebook page, and you can always join in. Got Katie and Diane here. They look like they're
conspiring.
What's going on?
I do want to see Penny hop, though.
Yeah, Maggie wants to see her hop. Oh, oh, I missed it.
Maggie!
Okay, so the class is Columbine, Wild Columbine coloring class, and it comes with, oh, thank you, Penny, she's getting it out. Since we're doing Copics today, I just thought we should talk about this. And it's Wild Columbine. You're coloring Columbine flowers. They're beautiful. Here's a picture of the class header and the cards that you're going to make. And it's in a private Facebook group. It's $39.99, and the really cool thing about it is you get the stamp and the die, so you can make as many cards, scrapbook layouts, projects that you want. And we do have a couple more openings in that. We had a video last week, and we have a video this Thursday, but it's okay because you can go back and watch it whenever you want and as many times as you want. So our Tim Holtz, the new Stampers Anonymous release, arrived yesterday, and a couple things are not here and they're coming today, but let's show what we do have, Penny.
Here's your next watercoloring project.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Floral trims.
And we have been seeing a lot of these ideas online. Tim had a video on Saturday, so if you want to learn more about these new stamps and see all the makers makes, you can go out to timholtz.com and check that out.
And then we have the tiny prints.
And that is a background stamp. That's, oh gosh, that's really pretty too.
We have the bold botanical.
And there's been lots of cool makes with that. And I think Katie might be making something with that.
That's really
These are perfect because it's National Garden Month, so to get all these florals in.
The inspector.
And that's got Teresa written
I
all
was
over
going to say, yep, I wonder what Teresa's going to do.
And I think like the Strictly Handmade, you know, there's a lot of unique little stamps on here. Forfeit move if you do not wish to change. So you're going to be seeing that a lot. And then there's a stamp set that's not here yet, and that's coming today, probably any time. And then he usually releases 3 full-size layering stencils and then a set of minis.
That's the brush arc and the brush hex and the brush
strokes brush mark. So those are the 3
arch,
large
mark and hex
stencils that are new.
And those are each $6.99.
And then
nice.
Okay, that's something, that's the Elements.
Element Stencils Everyday Art.
And there's been a lot of fun things made with those.
And then here's the mini set number 5.
So that's got, move your hand up just a little bit. So
Whoops.
that's got all the 3 large stencils, but shrunk down. And Steve says he's waiting for the call. And Steve, you have a bag in the back, and we're waiting for, I think, 1 item. We got a partial shipment yesterday, and the rest of it's coming today. So Donna says she's late because she was shopping. Okay, and
Good for you,
Susie
Donna.
wants all the stencils. So we'll need to, let me ring the bell so we can have somebody come over and take care of Susie.
All as in all the big ones? All?
I think all. So Donna, that's really funny. Okay, then Elizabeth Crafts, Katie, Susie would like one of all the stencils.
And then the minis and...
All right, Susie, Katie got you taken care of.
We have Elizabeth Craft.
These are back in stock because they keep selling out, and so this one is called Happy, and it's got words like daily happiness, precious one, special memory, and this little background I really love. Penny, how much is that one?
$21.99.
Okay, that might be going home with Kelly. And this one's called Tickets.
And that's $18.99.
That's another good one too. It's got boarding pass. And then we've got our flowers here, and that is called Playful Flowers.
$22.99.
And that's one of the new releases from Annette Green, and so is this one. This is called Stemmed Flowers. I have to get close to read it.
Yeah,
Flip that one over
$18.99.
if you would, Penny, so people can see it's a really good size. Really good size. And you're going to find a lot of these. This is called Fancy Flourishes. You're going to find a lot of these if you go to memorybound.com and go to shopping and then go to new, and you'll see Elizabeth Craft's new releases or new arrivals. And then this is another, the next stamp set is also from Annette
Fancy
Green.
Flourishes, and then
This one is called Bloom.
$21.99.
Diane used this in her garden book that she showed us, the little folio that she made. But oh my gosh, there's a caterpillar. Isn't that a caterpillar?
It is.
So it's got, I've not seen a caterpillar before on a stamp set. I love it.
I wonder if that would work as a mustache.
It might be creative. And then we have strawberries. And I want everyone to know that Berry Fields from Simple Stories is on a truck right now somewhere between Utah and Iowa. So it's arriving very soon. We're pretty excited about it. Okay, so
All right,
that's why we
so-
ordered those. And then these were the edges, the journal edges too, that Diane used in her album. And people have been loving this one. I know Jennifer used this one, and let me see, what is
Planner
the directions?
Essentials, $29.
And that's got that sign that you can even put like little words or little
Yep.
icons in.
Pocket page fillers, 2.
There we go, that's another one.
File folder page with pockets.
And Diane used that one also.
And curved library pocket.
Well, actually she used that one too. That's
Yeah,
probably
she
why
did.
that's probably why
Yep.
we've got all these back in stock.
These are the library pocket filler cards. These are good ones.
Elizabeth Crafts has got quite a footprint in our store. So if you love Elizabeth Crafts, we probably have it, and if we don't, we order from them about weekly.
Tickets and tabs.
Now this is the one that Jennifer showed where she took the letters from the months and used them individually to make words.
Oh, yeah.
So she spelled out her daughter, I think maybe her daughter's name. As
'Cause
long
they're-
as you don't need a Q or an X, I think you're okay, or a Z.
Oh, man, I am out of
Oh,
luck.
Penny.
Oh.
At the bottom of the alphabet with a Z.
All right, so we have the globe. I haven't seen that one.
That's really good for the new travel collection that we have from 49 and Market. And Simple Stories has a travel collection in the truck with Berry Fields. Okay, they say the strawberry die show's out of stock, so we're going to have to ask Diane about that. Okay,
you
then
wanna
we
show
got an
'em
order
the
in from Seven
Cash
Gypsies.
spiral.
And we got three of their albums, and they're just
Somebody says out
really
of stock.
fun kind of junk journals that you can do a lot with. This one's got a little pocket in the front, and then it's got these old, like, distressed pages. And that's the spiral book, and it's $19.99. And you're going to find this under albums and miscellaneous albums. And there's 2 more albums. There's the Mix and Match book, and we'll have Penny open that one up. It has like a stretchy band that holds it shut, and then it's got a ring. And this one's $13.99.
Oh.
And it's got all kinds of different pages. They look like they're about 6 by 9, or maybe 7 by 9. Oh, look at the flowers. We've had these in the past, and we were able to get an order in with 7 Gypsies, and so we brought them back in. We just think they're kind of fun albums. And then there's one more album.
Strawberries are gone, but I will get them reordered.
Okay. Strawberries.
Okay, the strawberry die unfortunately was sold out, but Diane is ordering more as we speak. This, let's open this up. This is $6.99. It's a 6 by 6. They call it a ledger journal, and the picture might show ledger pages on the inside, but it actually has more of those distress pages. So if you love Tim Holtz or the kind of vintage or shabby, these 7 Gypsies books are amazing for those projects.
Huh.
They're really cool. I like them. And Diane used one in her garden journal, and it's one that we can't get anymore, but I think these would work very well for that. Okay, so the strawberry, we said the strawberry's out of stock, but we got more coming. And then we got some papers in from Canvas Core and 7 Gypsies. And this is kind of neat because these are recipe cards, but not your normal recipe cards. And then we have this paper here that's you can cut apart if you want to, or use it as is. And you're going to find these under memorybound.com and shopping and our themes, food and baking.
The trims.
And there's some more recipe cards. See, you could take one of
Oh,
these
I
books
like
and put
these.
recipes.
They go different
in them.
directions.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
And then this is a Canvas Core paper. And Penny, I think you could highlight some of these with your Copic markers.
Oh, yes.
Or watercolor.
Yes.
Okay, then totally unrelated to 7 Gypsies. My favorite things, this little 6 by 6 pad sold out first day. It's back in stock. It's amazing because it's all lined paper, like notebook paper.
Colored
in
line.
Fun colors. And Penny, how much is that?
That is $6.99, and those are the
$6.99.
colors that are inside.
Love it. And then we just want to mention the Posca pens are 20% off. So if you have Posca pens and you want more, or you haven't tried them, this is a great time to try them. It's all different tips. All right, so that's kind of what we've got going on that's restocked. The really exciting thing is the Tim Holtz stamp and stencil release, and the rest of this is arriving probably during our video. The rest of this will be coming via UPS or FedEx. So we'll have the rest of those soon. We had a little sprinkling of an order yesterday. So now we're going to talk tulips. It's Tulip Tuesday, everybody.
Tulips!
Tulip Tuesday.
Yay!
And it might be tacos for lunch too, Penny. I don't know because I didn't bring anything today.
Oh.
Taco Tuesday, Tulip Tuesday.
Yep.
So tell us about.
Are you ready?
We're ready. Let's see what we're coloring today.
All right,
Let's
we're
check out-
coloring. Well, let's start with the stamp. So this is the tulip bouquet. You can get it as just the stamp, or you can get it as the bundle. Just the stamp is $15.99. The bundle's $26.99. It's a little bit of a savings there. And it's got the ladybug and 2 little snails and some great sentiments.
I forgot about those.
They're so fun. And then your die.
So your die would cut the tulips and then your
the
little
3 little
ladybug,
critters.
little buggies,
Yeah.
critters.
Well, the 3
You're-
little.
but Penny, it's very
But-
correct about the sentiments because they're good ones. Like thanks
Oh, they
so
are.
much, a little something, hello, love you, miss you, and then there's the stencil.
There's the Are you using the stencil tomorrow?
I don't know. I haven't yet. We can do the stencil tomorrow if people want to see it. I love
kinda
layering
cool.
stencils, and I do have it, so we'll use it.
Okay, so card number 1. Here we go.
Oh, that's so
So
pretty.
my Columbine friend, I colored this with that yellow orange color that we used last week, combination, same thing with the leaves. and I'll show that leaf technique after a bit.
I like how you said my Columbine friends.
My Columbine friends.
I love that.
So I used the diffuser, and I had in my stash a floral, just regular embossing folder. I grabbed 3 that I thought might interest
Oh,
you
yes.
if you don't have one.
This is a newer one too.
And it cannot be 3D. And you know how hard it is to go
I
over
know.
there and find not 3D? So that's kind of a ferny one. This was kind of fun. Kind of reminds me of ferns and whatever. But then we also had this one.
Oh, that would be a good one too.
And I also found out a little tip for you all to use. I positioned this on my,
Oh, yes.
workspace, and I put a little bit of tape behind my diffuser so that I knew it wasn't
gonna be
going
in
to
the right
move.
place, yeah.
Because sometimes your plates will
They do
knock it
slide.
off and stuff. So just use a little bit of that crafty yellow tape, and
So we showed the diffuser last week, and you can kind of see on Penny's card, it's not embossed there's an oval behind the flowers that's not embossed. So the diffuser,
left out the middle part.
right, depending, you can either leave out the middle or you can only emboss the middle. And there's ovals, circles, and there's kind of a smaller oval that's in there. So 3 different sizes and 2 of each.
All right, so card number 2. Thank you, Lori Richards.
Yes.
Oh, I just love this
Lori,
idea.
a lot of people have been using Lori's idea.
Yes, it's just so nice. So my Columbine friends, again, here's the reds that we're going to be doing this week, same greens. But then I popped up part of the flowers, and then I popped up the sentiment, did a very simple stories background mat, and called it a day. And I really like this card. I
I
the
like it too.
ovals, but I think you could very easily use any shape, she said, so I grabbed the ovals and the circles just to remind you, if you don't have them, these are
You know what, Penny?
awesome.
I think even the hearts, the stacklet hearts would be
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
especially with sending love. So those are the Tim Holtz stacklets, and we do carry all of them. I think there's square, rectangle, hexagon, hearts.
Hearts,
Um,
circles,
I
ovals.
think I'm missing one, but I don't know what it is. Penny, that's amazing, and I really love it for your Columbine friends.
My Columbine
If
friends.
you want to add, you're coloring the Columbines, and she's showing you with the markers you have for your Columbines, what you can do with your tulips.
So this is just a purple, violet, blue violet, red violet. I can't remember now because I didn't write it down because I was just having fun. And I wanted to use my rattan basket, and I
Oh,
had
from
it
Honeybee,
out.
Yes.
And what I did was that I did not want to see parts of what I'd colored.
Right. Yes.
So I actually cut another part of this die with just a complementary green, and I put it back there. And then I put the back piece as the rattan. I cut off the handles. You'll see that I cut
Oh,
off
you
the
did,
handles.
yeah.
Because I wanted the tulip leaf to kind of flow over. I cut this one off and then tucked him in a little bit differently. I
Good
love
idea.
my IO grass. So I tucked it, and I put 2 little pieces in the background, and then I put the rest of it on the foreground to give
I
it
love
just a
that,
little
Penny.
dimension. I also thought, well, you could probably use the other basket as well.
You could, or the picnic basket.
Yep. So that was a lot of fun. Then my Columbine friends, once again, I did the blues that we're going to be doing tomorrow. And this was a great time just to add the ladybug in there.
That's so cute.
Since we had been talking last week, I grabbed my honeybee little gems, wanted to add a little sparkle to that, and just made a very simple background. And the last one I did, I wanted to do another slimline, but I wanted to do a variety of colors. So I actually used 4 different sets from the colors I'd already paired up. So I did the orange, I did the darker mauve, a lighter mauve, and then the blue, and kind of changed up the leaf patterns.
Well, Penny, and I like that you use 2 different colors on one bunch of tulips, because you can
that's-
get different
yeah.
colors of tulips.
Well, and if you plant them like I do at my house, sometimes they come up kind of mixed on their own anyway. So, and then my Roy G. Biv order, sort of. I started with my reds, and I'm going to refer to my Columbine friends again. This is what I was talking about last week. You will see that they're not in number order, they're in color order. So I started with my lightest color, my R81. I went to my R85, and then I came back up with my R83. If I needed to touch up with anything, then I would work back up.
So your colors that you list here are in the order of how you applied them, how you
Yep.
colored the flowers.
That is correct. And I would say probably 95% of the time. Every once in a while I'll do something weird, but
No, not you, Penny.
yeah, I know. So then on my leaves, we're going to talk about leaves a little bit today. There's different ways that you can do leaves depending on what you like, because there's whimsical coloring, there's just coloring, and then there's like realistic coloring. Those are all terms I've made up, so
They're
you're not going to find them.
Pennyisms?
Yep, they're pennyisms. So the hard part about these leaves is that they don't really give us much help as far as shadows and things like
yep,
that.
I see
So
what you're saying.
that's why I did them differently, and I chose different colors. I don't like this flower. I wish I could just cut it off, but you know, you're gonna live with your mistake. So that's my mistake.
your dud?
It's just too dark. But I'm thinking it got frostbite and and it just kind of changed colors. But red's hard, and I love a challenge though too. So I stuck with it. I made myself do it. I did the G05 and 07, and then like for the stems, I did the 17. So then I wanted to go something a little bit more orangey-ish, so I chose my R43, gave it all a once-over coat, and then I did my R17 and my R14. And you'll notice, like in the two, a lot of times these two different petals in the background will be different colors. So there's no rhyme or reason. I won't do them all the same way, but I'll choose your mid-tone and your dark tone, and I'll just choose different parts depending on what I have in my hand. I chose the YG set as I did for this first flower and just kind of repeated it again. Then I wanted to go more orange, so I grabbed my YRs, and I wanted a paler color. So I started with the 00, and I thought I'm going to try going in order, the 02 and then the 04. I went to just greens, and I kind of like this combination. It's a natural blending combination. It's the G21, 24, and 28. And it was fun to do. Then when I Googled images for tulips, the first one that came up were yellows.
Yellow? Oh.
So I did just a 2-color yellow, and that's the Y000 and the Y02. And the Y000 has a lot of intensity in the color, I think, for being a 000 number. So sometimes you just gotta.
Usually the 000s are pretty light.
Yeah, but I really like that 000. Here's blue. Those of you know I favor blue. Blue's my favorite color. So I wanted to try bringing the dark color up. Sometimes florists will spray the tops of the flowers and it kind of goes down. So I wanted to try flicking down, and then just maybe a few flicks from the bottom. Don't know if you can see those. But again, if you look out in nature, all flowers are not equal.
They're all different,
So
aren't they?
you need to also reflect that in your coloring. I did the 3 greens. Basically, the stem is the darkest color, and then I did the G21 solid for all the leaves, and then I flicked just add some detail with the G8 too.
Penny, there's a question.
Yes.
They want to know, like your dark red that you said got frostbite. Is there a Copic lifter pin to lighten up the dark red flower? Is the question, and they're talking about this one.
Okay, so with red is hard. No, really, there isn't. I could take out my colorless blender, and I saved it for today because I thought somebody would probably have that question. So now the hard part is this is a dry flower. There's no ink that is really what I'm going to call active. So I'm going to use my brush nib, and I'm just going to do a general wash on half the flower so that you can see maybe
great. So we can see the difference.
What the difference is. And I'm actually surprised. Well, maybe it helps if I've filled my colorless blender recently.
So the 0 marker is
There you go.
the colorless blender, and it lifts color. And it did lighten it up.
Now, it also got onto my marker on my colorless blender. So when you see that, you immediately want to get it off because you don't want any other colors on your colorless blender or any other marker for that make. Now, this is left what I'm going to call texture. And so I don't really like that. Now, it's not light enough that I feel that I could go in and add some flicks to like rejuvenate it. And so I'd cut the flower off.
I was just going to say you could just cut it off. But the colorless blender might work in other times, but that's with that deep dark red.
Yeah.
It just is kind of hard. But
and red is a different beast. It really is. But yeah, so that's what the colorless blender would do. Now the colorless blender, let's say, well, I'll just use my flower here. Let's say that I had my red, and I'm going to use...
I think red is difficult in a lot
Red-
of mediums.
It is.
Because you hear about it in ink pads and paper, cardstocks.
And I'm just going to choose the middle flower here. And, you know, as you color, and oh man, I went
You're
out of the line. That's when you take your chisel, your brush, whatever. And what you're going to do is you're going to push that color back into the flower.
You went out of the lines a lot. Are you going to be able to get all that back in?
Probably not.
But it did lighten it up a lot.
And then you let it sit, and then you might come back to it and
do it
push it
again?
in some more. Because what you're doing is that you're forcing that alcohol back in to the flower.
It did lighten it way up, so I bet if you did it again,
did.
it would be.
And you know, if you're going to do a background or something on it, then it would be fine. It'd be fine. All right. So we're down here on the RVs. The RVs, I think, are probably one of my favorites because
very
they're
pretty.
so different. The 1-1, the 9-5, the 3-4 makes a great light mauve combination, and then I chose a green, a yellow green, a different combination to go with the pink, I thought. Then I went with the darker RVs, the 6-9, 6-6, and 6-3, and I chose the blue greens to go with the leaves, and I like the colors.
I do like that a lot.
I think I would like it with some more flicks for some detail. So then I wanted to try some purples, so I tried something completely different. So the very first color on this is a Y21.
On your purple?
Yep. So I don't... If you look
Interesting.
really carefully at the bottom of each of the flower bulbs, there is a little bit of yellow coming through. And that's because I started coloring all of the bulbs yellow. And so I've heard and seen the word underpainting, and it's something that I'm kind of intrigued about. So I tried what would happen if I started with the yellow and then brought in my violets. Well, I can see the yellow in it. I don't know that you can. And then I went on to my very light V20 and then my 2225, and then I stuck in that BV. I mean, I was so
You were
intrigued.
just playing.
I was just playing, and I tried a different leaf technique, and then I thought, well, then let's do one for real. So then I just grabbed my BVs. If you are new to Copics and you want some really friendly playing colors, your BV sets are really nice because they not only are they natural blending, but they are just natural play together well colors. So, and this was a fun leaf to do because I did the green and yellow green, and anyway, so those are my combinations.
And we'll take pictures of all of these. And Penny, Pella has quite a combination this year because Bev is reporting. All right, if you're not from Iowa, Pella is a town, I don't know, an hour and a half from here maybe.
Probably.
And it is very, it's got a big history with Holland. And every year they have a tulip festival. And she says they have 100 bulbs from a very rare variety called Nightmare from Holland. And it's the darkest tulip from dark purple to black.
Ooh.
So, and they also have multiple bakeries. They're known
Oh,
for
yeah.
their
Let's
bakeries,
get to
their
the
meat markets,
bakeries.
and the tulips. So, Penny, I think people love that you did so many combinations for all of us to see.
Good. Well, that's kind of what I like to do. So I'm going to try 2 different leaf things for you. And the first one is this set here with color and just flicks as texture. We'll see if we can replicate this. So I start with my YG25, and I'm just going to give the leaves, why am I starting with my 2.5?
This says 2-3 on your sheet.
Yeah, I want my 2.3.
So here's the order. Now we'll post this, and when you see these codes, that's how she started. The one on top is the one she went with first.
All right, so we'll start with the YG23.
We all get to watch Penny color now.
Turn on
And
the
Elena says they have a
music.
tulip farm between San Francisco and Sacramento. What great photo ops there would be.
Oh, wouldn't that be neat?
And the tulip time is coming up pretty soon. I think it's just a couple weeks away. It's usually early May.
Usually around Mother's Day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you're just coloring in, just normal coloring.
Just the leaves.
Now,
Good.
if you're not familiar with the Copic markers, it's an alcohol ink, and you don't have lines when you color like you do some markers, regular markers. The ink just kind of blends together naturally. And it makes for easy blending when you want to do shadows. And Penny is coloring now. She's going to show us how to make these leaves. Because if you're just joining us, Penny's comment was the stamp itself doesn't have a lot of veins or lines in the leaves. So she's kind of making it up. Donna says it's the first weekend in May, which is also National Scrapbook Weekend.
Ooh.
We've got a lot of fun things coming up for National Scrapbook Week. It's actually Saturday the 6th is National Scrapbook Day, but we are celebrating all week long because that's what Memory Bound has done for many years.
All right, I'm just adding some flicks as I think they would be according.
So just on fine tip.
Yep, get way up there on that tip of your marker.
And you're
Add a
using
little
YG25
shadow.
now.
And I even put the YG23 lid back on the YG23 marker.
Hey.
All right, then we have a G24, and we're going to go just a few less lines.
Penny, Jane's
Just-
asking if embossing works well with Copics.
I don't think I understand the question.
I'm guessing it's heat embossing. If you want to take your image and heat emboss it.
Oh.
Diana does that all the time.
Yeah.
You could
don't
heat
know that-
emboss, but if you're just stamping, you do have to use particular inks that are Copic friendly, like Memento.
But I think after you've heat embossed it, you wouldn't have any problems. I mean, you
No,
couldn't-
I think you could use regular,
Yeah.
whatever embossing ink.
So that's basically how I would do that set of leaves.
And so you added those kind of lines in there just to give them some
Yeah.
texture and dimension.
To give it, yep, just to give it some idea. Now I'm going to try a different set of colors. What do I have here?
Which one is that? Is that
Well, I'm gonna use this color set just because it was handy to grab, and I'm gonna go with more of this style of just shadows.
shadowing.
Okay, so
Well,
we're gonna
I love it. Then
start
we've got to
with the G2 one, and I'm gonna start the same way with the first one. And there's a reason.
So she's just coloring everything with G21 to start with.
Then I'm going to go to my G28.
So you're starting with your lightest color, I assume.
Yeah. And this is not the right color
I
because
guess there's
I
tulip
was reading
fields
it
in
upside
Washington
down.
State that are gorgeous. There must be tulips everywhere.
I
And
was
he's getting
reading
a different
yeah.
color because she
Well,
was reading it upside down.
You can't read it upside down and get the right results.
So you're going with G82 now?
I think so.
Okay. So we started with G21 or 21 and now we're doing G82. I always said 82, but I noticed you say 82, so I'm trying to.
It's just easier when I looked at them, I thought, oh, that one was full Friday, that one was full Friday, that one was full Friday.
Oh, okay. I've never put, but it
Yeah, well, it would have made it easier for me as I was going through to see what date they were sold.
All right. Now, so what I've done is that this to me is like curled in towards the plant, so it's going to be a little darker, but yet I've brought what you could call veins out because you want a little bit of texture there. And then I'm going to grab my dark G85 and
It's just really neat how when you color with Copic markers, the ink just blends together. And
all right, so now we're going to reverse and we're going to start with the darkest color. And you're going to see sometimes how I play. So I'm thinking shadow. So I'm going right next to that stem. Then I'm going to pull the color out a little bit more. And you notice I did not start with the lightest
you
color.
didn't. You're bucking the system. You're
Yep.
going dark to light.
I'm going dark to light because I want a lighter leaf.
But Penny, it looks amazing. Everything looks amazing.
Now you could go back to your dark if you wanted those veins back in there.
Are you just putting them in foul mortars? Yeah, so I put them in books a little bit.
So now this big leaf here is interrupted by two stems. And so you have to kind of give it some thought. I always wanted to start right here with my dark color and work up. But then I also have to work down. And I'm just going to give it a hint because I don't want a lot of it, but I want it there. Back to my mid-tone, my G82. And the reason it's 82 and not 82 is is to deal with the colors and
Each number has a meaning. So 8 means something, and the 2
how
means
much
something.
dye and how much pigment, and I'll get all the words wrong. I should learn them.
It's looking really good, Penny. It just seems to work out naturally. I know it's not because you're figured out what you're doing and you're telling all of us, but
Grab that bottom, that deep color, add a few little veins there in the middle. Ooh, I kind of like that
I
one.
like it a lot.
So again, I'm going to start down here in the bottom with the dark, just kind of flicking on that tip. And it doesn't have to always be completely filled in. I'm going to take that mid-tone to that back side, give it a nice color wash, and then pull the color up, keep it going. This might be my favorite one yet.
It might be. Those are a really nice color combination. So if you like these colors, this is what Penny's using right now, is the G82, G85, and G21.
Now I think 2 of them belong to our Copic or Columbine family,
Oh, probably.
the 82 and the 85. But then I've added the 21 in there. So ladies, if you want another one to add to your collection, that might be a natural one for you to pick up.
And we do carry all the Copic colors here at Memory Bound, and there's a couple that are out of stock and they're back ordered, but I think we're able to get them from a different warehouse, and they're going to be coming, so.
Oh, you are the bomb,
Well,
Kelly.
I just got lucky. We'll see. They're not here yet, Penny. We'll see what happens. And if you're wanting to know all of these color combinations that Penny did for us, I will have pictures of these and we'll post them on our blog. Penny, I really do like that color. And what's funny is that's the same color combination as this one, but it's darker and more blended rather than.
Yep.
Yes,
So-
I think that looks amazing.
There we go. Now, I would do one set of flowers. If you want to tell me like which color to.
Oh, do I have to pick a color?
Yep, you get to, or they can pick a color.
All right, what color should we do Penny's the flowers? Just tell us a color family. The first comment I see will go with it. Do you want pink, red, green, blue, yellow, purple, orange, coral? And so if you want to make a comment and tell us what you'd like Penny to color, otherwise Kelly will just pick one.
2, 8.
Oh, Cindy says multiples. What about a couple, can you do like a couple pinks or a couple?
Yep.
All right, we're going to do multiples. I turned our microphone off. So
Are we
Penny's
back
going to
on?
use these colors right here.
These colors, and we're going to go for this look of the blues.
Okay.
We're going to try.
I turned off the microphone, but I turned it back on.
Thanks, Diane.
Sorry, everybody. It was all me. I hit the button on the screen and turned off our microphone, but you should be able to hear us now. It happens sometimes. Okay, so what are we starting with? Oh, R81.
I'm going to start with R81.
It's kind of more of a mauve-y pink, really. It's very pretty. It's actually like my wedding color, Penny.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When the kids used to circle it.
All right, and then we're gonna jump down to the darkest color, R85, and we're going to bring up some dark color.
R81, and now we're doing R85. And Elena, sorry, your phone was fine. It was Kelly. My finger touched something. I don't even know how I did it. And Betty, welcome. We're glad you're here. Betty's joining us, and what we're doing today is Penny is coloring the Tulip Bouquet stamp set from Hero Arts. And you can get the stamp set, and it's $15.99 for the stamps. And what Penny and I love about it is it's got good phrases. It's got little ladybugs and snails. And we also have the combo set where you get the die and the stamp, and that's $26.99. And it has a stencil. I'm interrupting Penny's coloring, but here's the stencil and kind of the look that you would get with the stencil. And tomorrow we're going to be using the same stamp and die set, but we're going to be watercoloring, and we'll show you what the stencil does too. Oh, that's pretty, Penny.
All right, so I want just a little bit more mid-tone over here, so we'll go for it. All right, so the 8-1, 8-3, and 8-5, starting from the bottom up.
So there's the colors that she's using for the flowers.
All right, so I've gone back to my R81.
So you're coloring the whole thing. And Penny's using the brush tip. I think that probably gets used the most.
It does, although I don't ignore my chisel nib.
And if you have the markers and your brush tip nib is getting wore out, you can replace it. And we do have replacements, and we might be out of the brush tip, but it's coming with our markers. I think that's the neat thing. Once you buy a marker, you really don't have to buy another marker because they can be refilled and you can put on new nibs.
And we refill them here at
Yeah.
the store as a service provided by myself. All right. So for those of you that are scared to blend or shade or whatever, R81, R83.
And that's all you have to do.
Well, and then you could take your 8-3, you know, and you could add a little bit of shadow in that middle petal and your back petals. There. You could do the same thing with the 8-3, grabbing the 8-5. And we could make the back petals a little darker. Now I'm actually showing you things that I didn't even do.
Well, that's the idea. That's why we're here. That's a really, I love the color of that one. That's probably going to be my favorite.
Huh, I'll be darned.
That looks good, Penny.
All right, so then we're going to go back to the R81 and we're going to color the whole thing again. And then we're going to take that dark R85 and we're going to go down.
Denise made a comment that says you make it look easy, and I agree. And the markers also make it easy.
The markers really
'cause
help, yes.
The alcohol ink does just blends and smooths out. It's really nice. Penny picked good colors.
All right, so that's the medium tone.
I find myself interesting.
All right, so I like that just the way it is.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
And so we'll add the dark tone. Oh, sorry, new one. We'll
Penny,
do this last
there's a
one.
question about how long have you been doing Copic coloring?
What a great question. Copic College #1. I want to say was in 2018, and I did it right here in the store.
Yeah, we had a certified Michelle Houghton. We used to live locally, and she came in and taught Copic classes here at Memory Bound. We were very lucky to have her because she worked for Copic and did their education and things. And Janet just put out a link if you want to see Penny's other Copic demos. Thank you, Janet. She just put out a link for a blog post that have your other Copics.
Oh, thank you, Janet.
And Diane and I think Wendy Jean says they would use pencils, which is perfect. You can use any medium on this. We're going to be doing watercolor with it tomorrow, but you could use your pencils. You could use like Tombow markers. You could use, if kids want to color it, or if you like crayons, you can do a lot of things. It's a big enough image, I think, that it lends itself towards lots of mediums.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm going to grab back that G85 that we had been using and do my stems because it'd be kind of nice to see a finished product.
Yes, that's going to be nice. I did my stems a little darker too.
And you could play. You could have some stems be darker in the back and lighter in the front, but I just tried to keep it simple. I don't want to scare anybody away.
Well, and if you
I give you choices.
there's
and
people
then
that say they don't know if they can do Copics, but it is a piece of paper. So if you color something and you don't like it,
you
like
throw
this,
the
Penny will
piece
probably be
of
throwing this
paper
away. Although it
away.
did lighten up quite a bit.
How much
And
did it?
it's quite a bit, I think.
Ow! Boy, don't go out of the lines like that.
And remember, if you do want to learn more about Copic coloring, we have a virtual class Thursday, and it's on a Facebook page. It's private. It's with Penny, and they're coloring wild columbine images from Hero Arts. Isn't it a Hero Arts stamp that we're using for that?
It
wild
is.
Columbine.
Yep.
And you could learn a lot there. And even if you got your kit late, it's on Facebook, and you can watch it as many times as you want.
Now, the neat thing about the die set is that those 3 critters. So it's kind of fun to be able to color one, like here is a a ladybug. You could die cut that out and put it on top, because I actually colored around that ladybug because I actually
this one you
stamped
did?
it on the image.
Tricky.
So that always adds
Did
another.
you do that to here too then? You stamped it on here?
I did.
So it can be done if you don't have
Oh
the
yeah,
die.
yeah. If you don't have the die, you can stamp right on it, and those were my ideas. And I chose a darker red, and you can tell that I have colored the leaf and then I colored the ladybug. On this one, I colored the ladybug and then I colored the leaf. But you wouldn't know that unless I told you that. So
Right, they look good.
now, when you practice, sometimes you want to practice on different images. So Teresa gave me
Oh, yes.
her
This is
watercolor
our bonus-
Wednesday
The bonus.
pile. Thank you, Teresa. I'm not done, but I brought it back. So I thought, well, since I'm doing all flowers, I thought I just grabbed 2 that I thought were kind of fun. And I started with this one. I just wanted 3 different yellows and combinations. No, I didn't write it down because I was just having fun.
Yeah, use what you have.
And then I just used 3 different greens, a light, medium, and a dark. Again, the dark was for the stems, and then the light and the medium were for the leaves. And then I went back to my technique for metals, and I did my C1 and my C3. That's all I needed. And I really loved the heart, so I grabbed my red. And then I thought, oh, what if I put that on black? Like black and white
Yeah, it
polka
looks
dots. So this is what I call a wonky frame because it's not square when you cut it out. I mean, because you can tell a lot of them are not completely square.
So these are the coloring sheets from Photoplay. They're online if you go to shopping and paper, and then inside there is a whole collection. There's all kinds of themes. And Teresa showed coloring them with watercolors earlier in the week.
And so I thought, well,
last week.
Let's do a red ribbon. So I pulled out my ribbon, and I thought, oh, but let's do a double matte. And I thought, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I
very clever,
love
Penny.
this color.
It's very cool.
I love this color. I love the card. I love black and red. And it's just kind of fun to practice that metal because I haven't done it for a while. So that was fun. And then I thought, well, now let's do something way different. Let's do something that maybe people could work on their backgrounds. So knowing that, I'd already started coloring the insides because I was doing my flowers. But if you wanted to practice doing your backgrounds, do your backgrounds. Do them over the image so you can practice the whole thing. Don't worry about trying to get in between the leaves and the stems and all that other stuff.
Penny, that just looks like something cut out of a piece of paper, but it would have started like this from the coloring page.
Yeah. Yep. That's the way it started. And then I colored the flowers, and I thought I want people to practice their dots. So get way up there on that, and see how little you can get those, but not just in a a scratch paper setting, and in an actual flower type thing. And so then I colored the pink background, and I wanted to go for a smooth thing, smooth texture, smooth look, and I did the same thing with a real pale yellow.
It looks really good.
The blue ribbon, I chose 2 different colors to get the depth of the curl of the ribbon, and that would be the back side. And then down here I wanted to play with, I've never done any plaid
That's pretty
on
cool.
a live. And so I was just playing. There's probably 10 different colors down there. You would never know it, but I can simplify that too. So anyway, these are a lot of fun to practice with. If there's a theme that you really like, get some and try some different colors, or try the same colors in a different way.
Well, and it's a good way to use your markers because you can get a sheet. I think they're $1.29, and you get 12 on a sheet. And
that's
lots of
12
different
cards.
ones. Yeah, it is.
That's like 10 cents
12
a card.
12 card fronts.
Yeah.
Very true, Pennies. So thanks for showing us those. And last Wednesday, Teresa was here, and she was using these, and Penny got her leftovers.
Yeah, thanks.
Because one of the things Teresa wanted to point out was you don't have to use watercolor. You can use Copic markers or other markers. They're fun for kids to color. You can make cards for grandma or grandpa, and kids can color them, and they're just kind of a fun thing. I like that Photoplay is doing those.
Yeah.
Well, Penny, this was a great Tulip Tuesday today, and we sure appreciate all your creativity and your coloring and showing us what we can make. And your cards were just really, these might be my favorite Copic cards so far. I really think so.
Well, wait till
so
next
far.
week. No.
I don't know, the columbines are pretty nice too. I think I really like florals.
Yeah, florals are fun.
So we thank you for being here and doing
you.
this and showing us all these neat techniques. And tomorrow we're going to be back, and we're going to be using the same tulip bouquet stamp in different ways. We're going to be using some watercolor, and we will get the stencil out, and we'll show you how to use the stencil too. So,
Yay.
thanks, Penny.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful day today, and we'll be back tomorrow.